So want to welcome you back and hope you enjoy this video. This video we're going to be going over the steering spindles. The kit that I received, they were pretty much pre-built. This is the right side. So this piece will go towards the back of the go-kart. This is where you connect the steering rods to it. So when you're turning, this would be the piece that moves. The wheel would go all on this section over here. So this is where the wheel's going to go for the front wheel. And they even did this where they have a locking cotter pin and a castle nut. So as you're going down the road, this nut from vibration will not come off. No matter what you do, unless you break this piece, and you're not breaking this. There's no way. This is going to be inside that wheel. The wheel is nice, a nice big size wheel, so you're not going to get to that at all. These look like spacers and some kind of bushings to go with the wheel. And then this whole piece is extremely well designed. Very well welded together. You have adjustment on the hind joints to adjust your camber and all that. Really cool. Again, it's going to be tack welded on with this piece right here. This flange here is going to get tack welded onto the frame. These are a little loose right now, which is fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack this in place, pull these out so I don't get any slag or any more weld, particulate all over this beautiful piece. And why ruin it when you don't have to? Again, another castle nut right here. Down at the bottom, another castle nut, another cotter pin. Nice strong bolt going all the way through the whole assembly. Just really thought out and put together extremely well. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these on the frame and see what happens. So once again, I'm going to use a C-clamp to clamp it in place while I tack weld it. And then once it's all tack welded, I'm going to take this nut and the bottom one off and take this whole assembly, this part of the assembly off when I do the final weld. So I don't have any spatter and everything going all over the place on that and having to ruin that wonderful, beautifully designed steering system. And then you're just going to do the same exact thing on the other side. And we'll go to the next piece. So I figured I'm going to go ahead and mount the axle mounts. So this looks like a big beefy plate. It looks like it's about 1/4 inch. It's got a little notch in the bottom, and then it correlates right to about here in the frame, which is the back of the frame. And there's another one for the other side. So what's going to happen is the axle will go through this and mount to it. And I think the brake caliper does too. I don't know. I'm actually jumping around now. I just want to get all the welding done first. And then we'll start doing the final assembly. So we're going to be mounting these today as well. The other one will go right about here. If you notice, some of the frame is black. I tested some flat black paint to see what it looks like. I think that's going to be changed. I don't know yet. We're still in the process of trying to figure out what color it's going to be and how it's going to be metal processed. The one thing you will find about these plates is they will shift back and forth. So we're going to have to stabilize them and make them level while we tack weld them in. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that next. Now, sitting around, you'll see this 90-degree magnet has collected a lot of metal filings and shavings and dust and all that. So I definitely have to wipe this off so I can either use this or do a different method. Problem is the frame is very, very small. So this is not even going to really fit on there at all anyway. No matter what I do and try, it's not going to fit. So I'm going to have to figure out a different way of holding these in place and making them level so they don't move. Gussets are basically used to help strengthen a section of when two pieces of gusset is used to when two pieces of metal are welded together to help strengthen that corner joint. So basically what happens, it would be like right there on the frame. So this 90 would be a lot stronger. Now I'm adding gussets because I'm also adding some camera mounts to this. So I went out and got a bunch of these pre-made. They're cheap. You get a pack of like 20 for, I think it's like $10 on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description as well. And again, basically the gussets will fill in these corners, make them stronger. But I'm going to use a gusset here to line up this metal piece. I'm not going to tack it in. I'm just going to use it to make that hard 90. So what's going to happen is I'm going to actually use the C-clamp to hold it down, or just some kind of clamp. It might be an actual quick clamp because I don't think I have a big enough C-clamp with me. But I do have a big enough quick clamp. So that's a typical quick clamp, you know, adjustable, and then you squeeze the trigger to make it tighter. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a quick clamp, and that's just going to give it a basic hold right there. And now I'm going to go in with my gusset and do my hard 90 just like that, and then use the quick clamp, hold it in, and then when I tack it, I'm going to hold the gusset there as well. So I'll just put a quick tack there, maybe one on the other side, just to hold that in place. And just take your time and weld back and forth, dissipate the heat so it doesn't warp on you. So in a previous video, I showed how to put together this pedal assembly. What I'm going to do in this one is I'm going to take these tabs that have to be welded to the frame. I'm just going to go ahead and tack weld them in and then permanently bond them into the frame itself. I'm going to do one little modification to this, and I'll show you everybody what that is. So basically what happens is the pedal will sit like this on the frame, and then when you push your foot towards it, it'll go down and up, and then these pieces right here, this hole and this hole, will push or pull a rod or a cable, depending on if it's the brake pedal or the accelerator. And what I'm going to do with this piece in the bottom is is it's all threaded right here. I'm going to put a little bit of a brass tube in there so when it comes back up, the threads won't dig into this beautifully machined pedal, and it'll last a little longer, because I don't know who's going to be driving this thing yet, and I don't know how hard they're going to be on it, so I want to make sure that this finish and this piece stays clean a lot longer. And you just got to get a little tube, a little metal tube, cut it down to the width you need, and put it in there. And I'll show how that's done on the final assembly. A little brass tube, and I'll tell you which, if it's brass or aluminum, and actually how long it is. So you guys will see how that'll work. So for now, I'm just going to take these two tabs apart, and I'm going to weld them to the frame. And according to the directions, the steering, well, the C1 crossbar where the steering will be attached in the front, 4 inches forward of that is where you're going to want to put these tabs on the frame. And I'll show you what happens. So I'm using my magnet here to hold this piece into place. You'll notice there's 2 holes. The higher hole will go towards the back of the go-kart. The lower hole will go towards the front of the go-kart. This is your hinge point for the pedal. The pedal will push, when you push down on your foot, that's the hinge point. This is your stopper, so when it comes back up, it'll stop right with that hole, and that hole is the hinge hole. So I'm using the magnet right now to attach this piece temporarily. It's 4 inches from the steering section. Excuse me. It's 4 inches from the C1 crossbar. So 4 inches from here to here. I decided to put it 4 inches in front. It's up to you. I would say at least do the 4 inches between the 2 pieces, just to be safe. And then, yeah, so we're going to tack it in place. Then we'll weld it up. Do the same thing with the other side. And we'll have a place for the pedals to go. Now, to help keep these 2 tabs lined up, I just threw a bolt in it really quick, just so I can line them up, and then I can weld them in. I'll tack them both into place, and then I'll just finish it up by welding them together. So this is your go-kart. Do what you want. Do what you like. Make it look as cool as you want. Grind all the welds down, sand them down if you want to. Leave them as is. It's your choice. I, on the other hand, I want a more clean finished look, so I'm grinding them down, polishing them up. And then there's this really cool grinder slash polishing slash sanding disc. I'll show you which one it is and where I got it from. It's very quiet, and it pretty much will do whatever you want to clean up the frame, however pretty you want to make it. Again, this project is for a movie, and still haven't figured out if we're painting it yet or powder coating it or what yet. Still some other things to go through. I just want to get all the framework done first. Everything is solid. It's not going to fall apart. It's all welded. The bonds are perfect. Now it's just more me cleaning up aesthetics on it, making it look prettier. That's just a personal preference. You don't have to. Again, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. I am, because I just want to make it look cool and clean. And yeah, some guys are like, well, you could use the Welder welder. I know I can, but that wasn't the point of these videos. The point of these videos was for anybody to just pick up some tools and start making a cool little go-kart and to have fun with it. Yes, MIG and TIG look way better, and they are. Flux core, it's not the best welding looking. Well, flux core, it's not the best looking weld. I know that. It's a crappy machine. It's $100. The flux core wire I got is terrible. I'm using spatter spray everywhere because I don't want it all to stick together. But again, to clean it up, I can just use that grinding wheel or different grinding wheels or any kind of grinding wheel and work on it and polish it up and make it look a lot cleaner. Even when you're grinding or sanding, please just wear protective eyewear. You know, it's not fun having something fly in your face, and besides, just take safety precautions. It's not expensive to buy a pair of glasses. Go to your local hardware store or go online and order a pair. Just please take your time, be safe, and as always, let's go ahead and break the algorithm and subscribe to like, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.